right, welcome everybody to the interview section of the channel here. And this is something that I definitely want to introduce and continue to have because I want to be able to show you guys more very heavy mindset oriented people so that you can get a different perspective as opposed to me just always saying this is what you need to do. Right. But today I have a wonderful guest that we met at a very interesting time. And before we start, I definitely want to just go ahead and say welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. And today we have my beautiful guest here, Sarah, holistic health expert Loomis. All right. And so, yeah, this is kind of how we met, right? So Sarah walks in. This is during the crypto conference, the first crypto conference that we had at 3T. And I was dying. I was pretty much dying, and I was really trying to avoid every single person as humanly possible, right? So I'm like, I got ninja gear on, and I'm creeping through the place, and I'm trying not to be seen. And Sarah comes up, and I think you mentioned me by name. You're like, "Hey, Kevin," I was like, "Uh oh." Somebody knows me and I don't know who they are, and I'm dying over here. So I was trying to figure out. I was like, man, who is this? So I'm just like, well, I don't know. But we met in the lobby area of the hotel that we were holding the conference at. And
I wasn't even thinking. I said, Kevin, what's up?
oh,
And just even though you were in such a sickly state, your mindset was still so generous, so kind, so happy, so thoughtful, and you bought me a can of coffee.
yeah, right. Yeah, yep. That was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, I got it, because I mean, I wanted to be. That's kind of how I was gonna go about the whole thing. I wanted to be accommodating to everybody because I was just so grateful of all of the stuff, right? But yeah, I was just not feeling good. I remember I was like, no, we were gonna do like a handshake or fist bump or something.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
just like, don't risk it. I was like, don't risk it, because I had no idea what was happening to me at that point in time. But yeah, good thing I'm over it, and you
And
reached
good
out
thing
to
we
me.
met.
Yeah, right, right. So yeah, if you guys don't know, and if you're not following, let them know first where they can follow you at the different platforms, and what your names are and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, sure. So I am on Instagram. My handle is Sarah, SARAHM Loomis, LOOMIS. Also on TikTok, where my handle is Sarah Loomis. Those are the primary ones that I'm on right now, but look out for more.
Cool. And oh, you said you're gonna start doing the podcast soon
Oh,
too,
yeah,
huh?
that's right.
Got
Synchronized
you.
self. Synchronized self.
Oh, I like that. I like that name. All right. But yeah, so I was kind of perusing through your page. I picked up your free PDF too, as far as everything you do, and it is we're very much aligned in the same direction that we're going in, because you're doing like a holistic, mind, body, soul type of transformation. So just tell us a little bit about what you do, and what type of ways and methodologies that you have as far as your bringing people back to their holistic self.
Sure, yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you for inviting me to be on your show. Super excited for this conversation because, like you said, it's a huge topic, and I think there's so much to talk about, and I think we have a lot in common when it comes to it. So I'm looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
And then as far as what I do, I'm a personal health coach. I help people with all aspects of their health. I look at it as 4 pillars: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. My background is in fitness. I started as a personal trainer about 15 years ago, and we can get into it later, but for a number of reasons, that was very limiting to me. And I felt it was a very limiting way to serve my clients, only focusing on one part of health. So I like to help people find that missing piece that's preventing them from reaching the next level and ultimately discovering that it was really inside of them all along. The industry is loud, it's confusing, it's overwhelming, and it can be very dark and competitive. And so I am dedicated to helping individuals navigate it so that they can live an abundant, healthy life that hopefully feels even more magical than they originally thought possible when they set out on this journey to grow and expand.
That's what's up. Do you have like a physical facility, or are you just online, or how does that go?
I I've had my own space before. I had one from 2014 to 2017. Before that, I worked in a number of different commercial gyms, taught classes one on one. But now it's all online. I work with people all over the country, all over the world, and that is really, really cool. Something that I did a little bit of before COVID, but for the last couple of years now, it's all online.
Nice, nice. What are you seeing? What have you seen as far as challenges in this space? Have you seen any like challenges that you had to overcome, or anything that really like pressed you mentally to kind of get over the hump, or anything like that?
Well, personally, what happened to me was I felt like I was doing all the right things, diet and exercise, doing what people say is healthy. And back in about 2016, 2017, I was like, I don't really feel healthy. And that
Hmm.
was a really tough place to be, given that I owned my own facility and people were coming to me as an expert to help them with their health. And then it was then that I really explored the other parts of health, mindset, spirituality, um, and really like, who am I? Why am I here? And expansion versus just, putting in the reps in the gym. So then I took what I learned there and I've been trying to guide others using the tools I picked up along the way when it comes to emotional, mental, and spiritual health to help integrate that into my own practice with my clients one on one.
Got you. And so, okay, so that's really interesting because and that's something that I don't think, we talk about in this space a lot in the self development space. So you're obviously you look like a very fit person, right? And you didn't feel it at the time. So I'm sure at that time you probably were like super super extra ripped and stuff like that. But it's like when you don't when you're putting in the reps like you said, and did diet play any part in that too? You were doing a like maybe a diet program or
I mean,
just
for the
eating
most part,
right?
then I was eating a lot of animals. I was working out
Got
with a
you.
bunch of dudes, and literally, I mean, you could take the term meathead pretty literally. It was eating like, steak
Got
and
you.
eggs for breakfast, like burger for lunch, salmon for dinner, maybe some chili for like, and yeah, I was bigger than I am now. I am more of a plant-based eater now. We can get into diet maybe a little bit more, but because there's so much to say there. But basically, I started eating more what I call high vibe foods, fruits from the earth. Like you give me a raspberry, and I'll be like bouncing off the walls, like feeling so alive. And so
Yeah.
I've integrated much more of a plant-based lifestyle now. So diet did play a role. I kind of during that phase, I did play around with vegetarianism and veganism, and called it my ascension diet, eating kind of like cleaner foods um, than I was before.
Got you. Okay. So then what was it really, or if you can dial in a little bit more, like what was it really that you weren't feeling healthy? Like if you can describe it, like what was the point that you reached that you were like, man, something's gotta change, or I gotta do something different?
Um, I think there was this overwhelming feeling that was like, I don't feel at home in my body. Doesn't matter like
Mm,
how like jacked you are, or strong you are, or lean you are. I just really didn't feel connected to myself and connected to the world around me.
got
And
you.
I think that's an overlooked piece of the health journey, really feeling connected to you and anchored into who you are. And when you do that, the way that you can connect with others just changes so much, and the way you relate to the world around you um, it just improves a lot. And so I experienced this period of I need to feel at home in my body.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's very interesting. Wow. So what did you do? Like what did you start doing? Where did the navigation go as far as you're trying to find, who you were and stuff like that? What did you start looking into that kind of start gearing you in the right direction?
Yeah, I hired um, hired a life coach. Then I hired some spiritual, like consciousness mentors. Started doing a lot of meditation, journaling. Uh, I think those are two practices that really provide space for you to get to know yourself,
Mm,
for you to be with yourself, um, and to feel comfortable and to accept who you are and what is. And so, through very amazing, like I'm very fortunate to have had wonderful coaches to help me through the
nice.
process and to help me with tools along the way to work through my limiting beliefs, my traumas. I know you know more than anyone else, really, like how those limiting beliefs creep up on us. We don't even know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And until we um, can see them and free them, they're going to keep popping up. And I didn't even know to look for them. So I
Yeah.
was just in this like, this is what I do every day, same thing, different day. And I really was determined to kind of master life and dig deep and figure out what's next.
Got you. And so, did you did you have a secular job at any point before that, or when did you start like in maybe business for yourself or doing that for yourself?
Yeah, so I worked in finance for a couple years right out of college, but it was actually, this is kind of a funny story. I took a Myers-Briggs test, and
What is that again?
it's like a standardized sort of, or I don't know if it's standardized.
Like a
It's a
personality thing?
it's a personality type thing, yeah. And
Got
so I
you.
took it
Okay.
through career services in college, and the head of career services was like, "Well, you're going to work in the health and wellness industry," and I was like, "No, I'm going to apply to these banks, and I'm going to work in finance." And
Okay.
he was like, "No, no, no," and I was like, "No, like I already applied for, like I'm good." Typical like stubborn kid that's like, I have it all figured out, right? I don't
Yeah.
need anyone's help. But that was an important piece of the journey, because it is a personal journey, all of this, and we
Yeah.
have to do what feels right to us and learn from our mistakes and recognize that it's okay to go down one path and then change when it feels right. So in 2008, I started working at a gym in Boston, and worked at a couple of different commercial spots, and then opened up my own spot in 2014. And I've worked for myself ever since. But as I said before, it's now all online.
Got you. All right. Well, that's what's up. So, in what area? Where are you at? Where are you at again?
I live in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Never thought to go there. How is it there?
Oh, it's beautiful. I'm originally from New York, but now I live in a nice little beach town. And speaking of health, um, environment is very important. And
Yes.
when I was determined to figure out how to feel at home in my body, I was like, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm going to feel good everywhere I am. Happiness is an inside job. I'm going to feel good within.
Yeah.
And when I moved here in 2020, I underestimated the impact that happens when you feel at home within, and then you pair it to like just this vibrant
Right.
environment that you love with supportive people and all the things you like to do and nature that really just makes you feel alive. And so that's been a really important piece of my health too. We know that
Mm.
surrounding ourselves with like-minded people is part of environment, but
Yeah.
not being afraid to just pick up and go to a place that makes your soul feel alive. So now I feel, and I always say my soul found its home in Newport. So the
Nice.
environment piece has been really big for me as well.
Oh, that's good because it's I really resonate with like the way you were saying with it's like no I'm at home anywhere, that's something that I kind of went full circle on, and then I'm in the cycle again. But it's interesting because I later found out I'm like, okay, the earth is my home, so I'm kind of comfortable wherever I go. However, like you said, I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and
I didn't know
hey,
that.
nothing to the city or nothing like that. But I have no interest in going back, is what I'll say. Right? I haven't been back. I moved to Phoenix in 2012, and I visited a few times, and it's just I have no desire to go back. You know what I mean? Because of the type of environment that I was perceiving in the immediate vicinity, right? And so, but it was really tripped out. It's like coming here. It gave me a different hope, man. It was really interesting. It gave me a different hope. I got here and I felt like I could do anything here. I felt like even though I didn't know anybody, I moved out here with my ex-wife, and it's tripped out because it was like I remember one day very distinctly. I'm going into a bank, and they're like, "Oh, hey!" And I had like a Superman shirt on. And they're like, "Whoa, you got the suit? That's so cool!" And it was like everybody was so friendly. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" I was not used to that. It's Milwaukee's not as rough as like New York per se, but the inner city can be very dark at times, and people are pretty down for the most part in specific areas, and so to get that and to be it was just like where did I end up, man? I was like in Pleasantville or something. It was crazy. I'm like the sun is always out. It was like night and day. It was very interesting. So um that's something that is something I'm gonna explore a lot more, because we need to be in an environment that are like you said. That's I really like how you put that our soul feels at home as well. Because I'm a very structured person to where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can be at home anywhere, but to feel like you really belong or you really fit in there or whatever the case may be, you really can't explain how that happens or how it feels. It's just like you're like, whoa, okay, this is it. Like this is where I'm supposed to be, and that's the feeling that I got. So I
That's so
really appreciate
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, you take a seed. A seed needs the right environment to grow. So inherently, it has things that are going to help it grow, but you need water, you need sunlight, you need soil. Like it needs a lot of different factors, and so do we. And so when I thought of it like that, I'm like, it's no surprise that I feel like myself expanding and growing here in ways that I haven't before, because at this point in my life, I'm not saying I'll be here forever, but at this point in my life, everything that I need to grow feels like it's here.
Yeah. So you don't have any kids or anything, huh?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Maybe someday.
All right. All right. Maybe someday. All right. Cause yeah, I
You
just
have a
wanted to.
newborn or a not so newborn now, right?
Yeah, she's 7, going on 8 months now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's happening fast, but it seems like forever because she's still not getting enough sleep and whatever. I just want to complain about that all day, but but I did want to chime in a little bit about that because I know it can be difficult for because when I just jumped ship and came here, I didn't have kids or anything like that. So for those of us that have children, that's a really very deep um, decision if you do feel like okay maybe I need to relocate if you're in a position to do so that's something to really strongly consider as a family if you guys are all together and everything like that because I was totally single at the time when I decided to move to make that move. So just wanted to put that out there. So for people that are like, man, I gotta move, and then, all of a sudden he's like, honey, we're out of here. I hate this place. I felt like that a lot of times. So,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
true. It's good. It's good to mention that. That's true. It's important. I was single too when I moved here. Um,
yeah, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I mean, what are the services like? How do people reach out to you? What do you do? Like, give us a rundown of how maybe your one on one coaching goes or a session goes with you.
yeah, sure. So, all of my clients have a fitness program, and then depending on where they're at, what their needs are in the session, it varies. Sometimes it's focusing on mindset and limiting beliefs because, as I mentioned before, and as you know, those things pop up and keep popping up until we address them. That's really the number one reason why people sabotage themselves along the way and keep feeling like they find themselves in the same situation when, say, Monday comes around and it's like time to diet this week or something like that. So yeah, there I work on nutrition if that's what they need, mindset if that's what's needed, some more spiritual type uh, energy and clearing work, depending on their needs. But there was a point where I felt very limited in how I could serve my clients when it was strictly in a gym setting, and I
Mm.
knew that telling them to squat and lunge was not going to help them break through to the next level. So
Right.
I became pretty determined to go out there and get as many certifications and take courses so that I could serve my clients better.
Nice. That's what's up, man. So do you do like any like I mean sound healing? Like
Yeah,
do you have you
I
interacted with
love
people or
sound healing.
yeah?
Yeah, I do some sound bowl work with clients, maybe at the end of a workout online with uh, with a sound bowl for meditation. Um, what I really want to do, and maybe saying this out loud on here will help hold me accountable. I want to learn how to use gongs. And I went to a gong bath, and someone was telling me. I asked the teacher if I could be her apprentice. I was like, I want to learn from you.
Yeah.
So it'd be really sweet.
Wow.
But I really believe in the frequencies of sound and how that can impact us. And I know a lot of people, when learning about mindset, meditation can come up, and a lot of us judge our minds and say, "Oh, that's not for me. I can't meditate." If you go on Spotify or YouTube or find a local sound healing and you lay there, it's impossible to not just like drop into that. And that is a phenomenal way to start meditating. You instantly feel that vibration from the music, and it's just you're in that spot where you need to be.
Yeah, music is something else, man. That's that's still a technology, an idea, a frequency, something in this quantum space that we really fully don't understand yet, like to its fullest capacity, because the impacts of like why does things sound good? Why do things sound
Yeah,
bad? Why do things, resonate? Why don't things resonate? How can certain high frequencies crack glass? Why, it's really really interesting, man. And
it really is.
it's this time where a lot of people are exploring new things, and like especially with YouTube's changed the game so much. You can look up a lot of different frequencies and stuff like that. And I mean, you do kind of want to do some research on that, because sometimes the frequencies may be off of what they're explaining. But that stuff, man, I originally really got into it when I started really focusing on what I was listening to as far as like lyrics and rap and stuff like that. And I started really tuning into the actual music and the beat of stuff and finding the little ticks and things inside of it. And I was like, well, this is different, because it led me down a path of listening to instrumentals, and then like hip hop instrumentals, and then exploring just all different kind of instrumentals, house music, techno. Like I listen to so many different things now that I'm just like, oh no, that's a good vibe. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then I started paying attention to, as I'm watching movies, the particular music that they use and why it draws you in and how it brings you into the feeling. And I'm like, oh man, this is I said,
it's
oh,
true.
this is something. It's very very deep. And that's one of the things that I always preach is to really pay attention to the music and stuff that we're listening to, because it's extremely powerful. It's powerful that we don't fully understand yet. But
I couldn't
um
agree more.
yeah,
And I
that's
think
really
that
cool.
it's so important to identify how we're feeling. You know, we don't check in with ourselves enough on a daily basis in regards to so many things. But music is a great way to say to be like, how do I feel when I lay here and I listen to this? How do I feel when
Right.
I'm, out and they're playing really loud rap music or whatever it might be? Maybe that's the best music for you when you're trying to lift heavy weight or whatever it might be. But recognizing that there are different sounds for different times to really help um, deepen the experience, shall we say, is a really big thing. And I mean, I just encourage people to check in with themselves constantly. I mean, we check our watches for steps, we check our watches for like scales for pounds, things for
Right.
calories. We're always looking for external things, and take some time to check in with yourself and take some time to check into how you feel. When does this music motivate you? Does this music make you feel sad? Does this music make you feel stuck? Does this music make you feel alive? And use it as data and pull it out when you need it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, and I think it's really important too for people to realize that that's kind of a process too. Because sometimes when I'm looking for a song, it's I'm looking for a specific song, and it can take a, or if I'm trying to go into meditation, I'm looking for a specific feeling, and you sometimes it takes time to really find it, because like Sarah said, with the meditation part of it, if it's hard for you to just be silent and to go into that meditation, the music really 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 helps. And but you got to find that sound that you resonate with, to where you can be like, oh, this makes me feel peaceful. And yeah, that's a good thing to mention, is to check in when you're listening to music. Did it make you in a bad mood? Were you in traffic and it made you have more road rage? Like,
Yeah.
you really got to really figure that stuff out, because it the music is resonating and it's going into you, and it can dictate where you're going to go into your next mood. And so it's really really important to pay attention to stuff like that.
And music is medicine. It has been since ancient times. Like music, sound, it's healing. Drumming is healing. It's meditative, the frequency, the consistency of it. It's a very powerful practice, which is why drum circles are a thing. And
Mm,
music is medicine, and I really believe that.
yeah, that's what's up. Do you play any instruments or anything?
I play a lot of instruments. I play the piano. I play the drums. play the
Nice.
guitar. And speaking of music, and I think that it is a very another meditative practice for people who maybe have a hard time dropping into meditation. And it's important to have hobbies and things that you like to do and things that you get lost in, like you lose your sense of time when you're doing it, and you have fun and you make progress when you practice, and you can share it with others. And it really makes me sad, how music is really constantly getting cut out from schools, and
Right. What
like
is that
fewer
about?
people are growing up with like pianos in the home. um, like I think it's a really sad thing.
Yeah, that's some weird conspiracy stuff going on, y'all, straight up.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what kind of sense does that make to take music out of this? I mean, that gym, it was like a bunch of stuff was just is going. I'm like, what's going on? So I think it's important for people like us to be able to really help people to understand how important that is. I don't play any instruments myself. I never took the time to learn, which I definitely one of the ones that I really love is the piano, man. It just that thing can make some really incredible sounds. I just really appreciate the sounds that it makes. So that's
Well, it's never
something
too late. You get yourself a little keyboard or something. And
I know, right? I gotta get
there are all
on it,
sorts of
man.
tutorials on YouTube now. You teach yourself some stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I think you should do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, me too. Cause it's my favorite. I used to want to do like when I was a kid. I used to want to do the saxophone. Um, but now it's been the piano. The piano pulls the strings, man. The melodies that come out of that thing. I'm just like into it. I love it. I use a lot of piano music sometimes in my editing and stuff like that because I really appreciate it. But yeah, yeah, it's good stuff, man.
It
But
really is.
so
People underestimate, I think, how many different parts to health there are. And music is a big part, it sounds like, of both of our healthy routines, getting our minds right and getting us excited and keeping us peaceful. And I'm a little surprised we started talking about this, but I love it because I think it's so perfect and so on point.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, did you have what else did you have? You have anything else for the people watching for like what you do or any words of wisdom through your experience?
Um. Well, being that this is the Mindset Matters podcast, I was thinking about what mindset means to me, and I think that so often people hear the word and they go right to positive mindset. Got to have a positive mindset. Positive mindset. And from what I've observed, we instantly uh, go into, well, I don't really have a positive mindset because this is really how I'm feeling. So there's this like judgment for how I'm feeling now, but I have
Mm-hmm.
to be positive. And I think that my baseline goal for the mindset that I wish to achieve or recommit to every morning is a mindset of love. I
Mm-hmm.
find it to be much more expansive and limitless and abundant. Love of self, love of others, love of strangers. And then it's when you have that mindset of love that you can adopt the positive mindset and layer it on top. If
Right,
you try to put a positive mindset on a foundation of fear, judgment, doubt, negativity, it's not going to work. And you're going to keep
right.
starting over and feeling stuck and being like, positive mindset, positive mindset. So, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about mindset, particularly today and the last couple of days. And that was a little personal breakthrough for me to lay it out like that, I think, in my head.
Gotcha.
Mindset of love.
All right. That's hey, and I
What do you
think
think? What's mindset to you?
that's fantastic advice. Mindset to me is the for me it's been what is my direction of thinking, like where am I setting my mind to go, What am I really aiming for in my life, for how I'm trying to be in this world. And that's really what it means to me. That's why I feel like it matters so much, because like we were saying at the beginning, um, or like you were saying, the I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, do 6 more lunges when I know that there's a major mindset issue. That's just one of the, it's, to me, it's the most important thing out of just anything else, as far as what is my mindset. Do I know myself? Do I feel happy with the way my life is going? Do I really truly feel loving, or do I feel loved? All of those things are before anything. It's just before anything can really manifest, or um, help you to get to a next level of anything. That was just one of the things that I ended up going through, that I feel like just really helped me to totally solidify who I was figuring out my mindset, and where direction I was trying to go in,
Yeah,
which made
alignment.
me be able to really figure out a lot of different things about myself, good and bad. That's just
Yeah.
part of it, but yeah, that's what it would be for me.
I love that you said good and bad. I think that that's huge. As I said with the positive mind thing, we're so quick to say there's no room for bad. But in order to truly grow and expand and get to where we're going, there has to be room for some of the negative stuff to pop up. And we have to be able to handle it and move through it and accept it and honor it, and in order to continue to align to with where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope everybody really, really enjoyed this, y'all. Thank you very, very much, Sarah, for being on here. Really, truly appreciate it. Again, you guys can find her on Instagram and on TikTok. And what were your handles again?
Sarah M. Loomis on Instagram and Sarah Loomis on TikTok. And my podcast is called Synchronized Self.
Synchronized self, y'all, look out for that. So yeah, just really think about the things that we mentioned here. Definitely stay tuned to everything. Go in the description for a lot of different things that we have going on. And yeah, mindset matters more than anything else, y'all. All right, we'll see you
That's
again
right.
next time.
Thanks so
thank
much, Kevin.
thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being on here.